What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another video here on Peg City Hockey. And now we finally have some concrete trade rumors that aren't just speculation. The Jets have ties to these teams and conversations have begun potentially, so we'll see what happens. But as it stands right now, the Edmonton Oilers and Winnipeg Jets are the two teams right now that have been linked to Max Domi, as well as the Flames and Lightning and your Winnipeg Jets being linked to Arizona Coyotes forward Nick Ritchie. And then it also came out earlier tonight that, again, from David Paganta, that Timo Meier has now been added onto, the Jets have been added onto that list that is potentially linked with San Jose and Timo Meier out there. We talked about Timo Meier about a week ago on this channel about how he would be the perfect fit, and if you're going to go all out at the deadline, he is the player to go all out for. So yeah, things are in motion right now in Winnipeg. Cheveldayoff has heard my prayers and all of your prayers and has finally got things going, and I'm very excited because, you know, both these moves I'm not opposed to. You know, obviously, when we're talking about Max Domi and Nick Ritchie, the price point on acquiring these guys is drastically different from what it's going to be with a guy like Timo Meier. So the Timo Meier stuff we're not going to really talk about because that's going to be a trade where you see the Jets giving up a first-round pick, maybe even a guy like Chaz Lucius or Ville Hinola, but a top prospect nonetheless for sure. Someone top from our organization will be going the other way. So that'll be a big trade if that happens. But when you look at Max Domi and you look at Nick Ritchie, especially Max Domi, honestly, I think that would be a really underrated move. Now, we've talked a lot about adding top 6 talent to this team, but if you add a legit, bona fide bottom sixer that's better than what you already have on this team, and let's be real, the bottom 6 is solid, but there's no legit, you know, real big threats down there like there used to be when you had an Andrew Kopp that could get you, you know, a solid 15 to 20 goals playing in the third line at times and bouncing up and down those last couple years. Max Domi could provide exactly that. You know, he's having a renaissance year this year with the Chicago Blackhawks. In 48 games played, he's got 14 goals, 21 assists for 35 points. His highest point totals since going back to 2020, 2021 with Columbus in 53 games. Honestly, I think he's having a good year, probably his better year we've seen since him going back to the Montreal year way back when in 2019. So, you know, Max Domi is a solid guy, and from what it's looking like right now, he would probably cost you a second-round pick or a third-round pick. Now, I would prefer to give up a third-round pick or maybe a prospect and a fifth or something like that. It depends on which guys were getting moved around, but I definitely see a trade where Max Domi makes sense, and the same goes for Nick Ritchie. Nick Ritchie, I don't really want on this team. I'm not saying that one's better than the other. I like Max Domi more than I like Nick Ritchie. I think he provides more in the playoffs when it comes down to it than what Nick Ritchie will. You know, Nick Ritchie, again, probably will cost a third-round pick at the deadline. Talked with AZ Sports Guy, asked him on Twitter what he just thought, you know, and if there's anybody that would know that follows the Coyotes, it's going to be that guy. Shout out to AZ. And he said probably a second or a third round pick. I think that makes sense realistically, unless the bidding was really high on other players. I think a third is where the price would most likely fall on Ritchie. And again, with Max Domi, I think a third or a second, probably a second would be enough to suffice in a trade there. And if you're talking about bringing in a secondary forward piece at the deadline next to a big option, Max Domi could really be it. At 27 years old, he's a depth forward that's been around a bit, but I would really like him on this team. I think his personality could really gel well with some of the guys on this team. You know, I'm a sucker for his history. His dad was a Jet 1.0. I've always kind of wanted to see a Max Domi Jets in a Jets jersey ever since he was, you know, playing with Canada in 2015 in that World Junior run he had. And I don't know, I've always liked Max Domi, even going back to him as a Coyote. So I honestly would be okay with this. I don't think this should be the one move the Jets do for any means, but Max Domi would be a pretty okay add at the deadline for like a third or a second round pick. If you're looking to really go all in and you're acquiring some forward talent, I'm not opposed to that. I would be okay with it as long as it, you know, wasn't your main move out there. And the same goes for Nick Ritchie. I would prefer a third-round pick if you really had to, but again, Nick Ritchie is just okay depth. He's got 9 goals, 12 assists, 21 points in 47 games. Again, nothing incredible. Their advanced stats aren't nothing incredible. Bottom sixers that don't play defense. I'm not opposed to this. Timo Meier, like I said, though, completely different situation. I don't even know really what happens there because the Jets are going to be in a situation where they're going to have to give up everything that they want to hold dear to their hearts and when it comes to their assets for the future, and we know that the Jets don't do that. So will they break their, you know, this pattern of standing pat at the deadline and not making these franchise potentially altering moves? I don't know. I think this is the year, if you're going to ever do it, you go in now. I think Chevy can see that too based on his comments. But again, Timo Meier would be an ultimate add to this club. But again, Nick Ritchie and Max Domi are solid adds too if you're looking to go all in and adding in some extra help down there to the bottom six. If this is the year the Jets want to go all in on, bring in a guy like Max Domi for the bottom six, and then somehow go out there and get Timo Meier and bolster the top six even more. The forward core would be deadly. Oh my God, it'd just be so loaded. It really would. I'm excited. There's a lot of options now. We've already known this for a while on the routes the Jets can take. We're just finding more and more information now, and honestly, I'm okay with the two guys they're linked to right now as depth adds. You need more. They can't be the one piece, but if you want to do more than one thing, acquiring a guy like this at a third-round pick could be a really good move for the Jets, an underrated move that could help with the support of a legit top six forward. So let me know your guys' thoughts are on these rumors down in the comment section below. I would love to see Max Domi in a Winnipeg Jets jersey. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on Max Domi if you would like to see him in Winnipeg come trade deadline day. But yeah, I'm excited for the trade deadline, guys, so make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications if you haven't already, and to stay up to date with all things Winnipeg Jets as we get closer and closer to the 2022-2023 NHL trade deadline. So with all that being said, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and check out all the other affiliate links down in the description below. Have a great rest of your day. Peace, love, and positivity. As always, go Jets, go, and I'll see you guys in the next one.